You know, one of the things that I don't think I will ever understand is how these MAGA whack jobs see Donald Trump as this incredible specimen of masculinity. I mean, where do they get that? The way he talks? Well, anyone can talk and sound or try to sound like Barney Badass. Anyone can do that. Anyone can make themselves sound tough. But the proof is in the pudding. And the truth of the matter is that someone who was as easily manipulated as what Trump is, and that's only um, obvious with the way that he can be manipulated, you know, tell him how great he looks in whatever suit it is he's wearing and how wonderful you think he is, or pay him a lot of money, and you get whatever you want. And this is something that none of the average day to day MAGA folks will ever get the opportunity to do. Because the truth of the matter is that Donald Trump would not throw a glass of water on them if they were on fire. He doesn't care about them. So at any time a MAGA person is watching this or watches this or whatever, the man doesn't care about you. Okay? You are nothing to that man. And he is not a fantastic specimen of masculinity. Okay? Someone that is president of the United States should really be not easy to manipulate. Shouldn't be able to be manipulated at all. And one of the other qualities that I think a president should have is the ability to be stubborn. Because the one thing that will always happen when it comes to political figures is that someone is going to try and manipulate them to get what they want. And that's not necessarily a good thing if the person doing the manipulating is trying to get something that is not um, good for the country. Because the only thing that Republicans care about are the rich mega donors. Those are the only people they care about. They don't care about their actual constituents, the ones that got them voted in. And I mean, anything from soup to nuts. Okay. Council member in a local municipality on up to the President of the United States. And, the other thing that is pretty important, I think, is honesty. A political figure should be able to be honest, you know, tell the truth. And especially if you're the president of the United States. I mean, this administration is constantly saying how transparent they are. Well, they're not because they lie about everything. What it really is availability to the media because the only thing that Trump cares about, as much as he cares about, getting rich using the office of the president, is media presence, being seen on camera, being the center of attention. That's right up there, But as far as transparency, no. Here a while back, he had another annual physical. And, whenever I go to the doctor for a physical, most people I'm seen by is two. Okay. Well, three if you count the front desk, reception. But then there is the nurse that does all of the checking vitals and all of that, and then the doctor. So basically, I'm being seen by at most three people, including reception. But this last time, Trump went to Walter Reed. He was seen by 22 specialists. 22. Okay. Why would anyone need to be seen on the same day by 22 specialists? Now, it would be great if a few of those specialists were psychiatrists. That would be a good thing. But I'm sure that's not the case because, as we all know, Trump is a malignant narcissist and pretty sure that he's a sociopath because he does not care about anyone or anything other than himself. He's front and center in everything. So there's that. But we have no idea what specialists those doctors were. We have no idea about Trump's actual health, his actual cognitive decline. We're pretty sure it's dementia. Well, most of us are pretty sure it's dementia. But we don't know for sure because they're not coming out and telling us. And then we had this Dr. Barbarella, okay, who's a White House physician, that said Trump is the healthiest person ever. Couldn't be healthier. Everything's perfect. Now, come on. You can look right at that guy. You can look right at Trump and know that's the biggest load of horseshit anyone has ever said. I mean, the bruises on his hands, the swollen ankles that are retaining more water than the Hoover Dam. He had that thing on his neck a while ago. I don't know if it's still there or not. That rash, whatever it was. So he's not in good shape. And of course, his name was taken down off of the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts because, it was a ruling by Judge Cooper that said it has to come down. He had no business putting his name up there in the first place. And memorializing anything doing a memorial for anyone, okay, like the Kennedy Center or the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Monument, most generally only happens after the political figure dies. But of course, as I said yesterday, he's forcing himself on each and every one of us in this country. But apparently, that is one of the things he likes to do the most, is force himself on people that are not willing. That's just me. And this is another thing. Think about kids right now that are growing up in this world, little kids, and they hear their parents talking, if their parents are all in Trump, or they hear Trump talking on the TV or whatever, and they're growing up thinking that this mean and nasty cruelty is normal. That's sad to me because it's not normal. It's never been normal. It should never be normal. Calling out someone for being mean and nasty to someone else is what needs to happen. But apparently, that just isn't the way things are done anymore. I think it needs to come back. But here's the another thing. I think that this country is on a path for more progressives to be elected. I'm hoping, and I've got my fingers crossed, that we're going to see a renaissance of progressive people being elected and progressive policies being implemented. You know, raising the minimum wage to a living wage, universal health care, you know, policy that really helps people out, putting funding back for Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP benefits. That is what I'm hoping that we're on the cusp of getting ready to see and getting ready to experience. But anyway, again, these are my opinions, my thoughts, my expressions, my rant. And if you could, please be so kind as to smash the like button, subscribe, share, and my internet friends, please take care of yourselves wherever you are.